Today in class we talked about the Swatches panel and how to use swatches as well as global colors. And for practice today, we're going to work with all of those things. To start off with, we always need our Swatches panel open if we're working with swatches. And we know that all our panels are under Window, so I'm going to find Window, Swatches, and just keep this menu open the entire time. The next thing to know is to make a swatch, you have to have a color selected. So if you're on black and white and you make a swatch, you're going to make a black and white swatch, which you don't necessarily need. In this case, we're going to use this black and white image down here with all these bright little colors as our inspiration picture. We're going to steal color from this to save as a swatch. So we're going to need eyedropper tool to help us out with this. So let's say I want to start with this pretty pink. I'm going to select with my eyedropper tool that pink. Once I have the pink, I can see it appear on my swatches panel, and I'm going to make a new swatch by clicking the little button, New Swatch. I don't have to name it, and I don't need it to be a global color just yet. So that's all it takes. All I have to do is now hit OK, and now you can see that pink has been saved. It's basically like creating a palette. I'm going to repeat that for each of the colors in this layout until I have about every color represented. And this color is probably like 8 or 9 colors being used here. Once you have those, the next section is just asking you to group them. To group them, all you have to do is hit this little grouping folder. You can name this however you want. And then to move your swatches to a group, you select your swatches. I can hold Shift to select multiple, and I'm just going to drag them into this folder and release. It's just keeping me organized so I know what colors to use for the next section. And part 3 of this is you're just going to apply the colors from what you selected in that original inspiration picture to this astronaut image. So simple as clicking it. Since you have your swatches, you don't really have to do much except click on the swatch and it'll apply the color. So it goes to show how easy and how beneficial swatches are. Now for part 2, we're doing something really similar, but this time we're going to use global color swatches. Very similar, just one little extra button. In this case, we're going to use this little weird color scheme here as our inspiration. So we're going to do the same thing. Take our eyedropper, click on a color, click this little plus sign, but this time we're going to hit this little block box here that says global. What this is going to do is it's going to make it so that if I apply that color anywhere and I end up changing my mind, if I change that color, everywhere I used it will also be updated at the same time. So I'm going to select this and do the same thing. Get all the colors in this color scheme saved as a swatch. And each time just double check that it says global. I know it's a global color swatch because it has a little white triangle on the side. Okay, let's pretend I've saved all my colors. You might want to group these as well just because it's really convenient. So now I have a group for this. Next, you're just going to apply it on this really simple illustration here of all these umbrellas. So let's pretend I wanted all the umbrellas to start off with this like nice dark teal and the underside of the umbrellas to be, I don't know, this like yellowy color I stole, okay? So I would apply it super fast. I'll color the whole thing. Now when I'm done, I want to go back and change 2 of my global colors just so I can see how this works. And to change a global color, let's say I don't really like the yellow in here and I want it to be a little different. All I have to do is double click on the little swatch here, that's yellow, and change it. And because it's a global color, everywhere I use that yellow in my entire document will update with my new color. So what if I want like an orangey pink instead? I'm going to change it, right? I want it to be orange and teal. Once I hit OK, every time I use that color in my document, now it's going to be orange because I changed it. And I can do that as many times as I want. I don't like that color. Like I have so many options and I don't have to work as hard reapplying the color each time I change my mind. I can simply make it a global swatch. That's the beauty of it. The last thing here is an extension that allows you to create your own global swatches with your own color scheme and apply it to the illustrations below.